The Allied campaign in Italy has continued to make considerable progress as the German forces are pushed farther and farther out of the country. July 9th marked the beginning of the grueling campaign. The Allies first arrived by air in airplanes above the coast of Sicily. On the mainland of Italy, our troops can be seen here, fighting viciously to liberate the country from Mussolini's tyranny. Despite the Italians' immediate surrender on September 8th, German forces capitalized on the vacuum of power, freeing Mussolini from prison. In response, the American forces launched a massive attack in Sardinia. Mussolini fled north, where he re-established a new fascist government with the aid of the Nazis. On October 3rd, reinforcements from the 2nd New Zealand Division arrived, boosting morale. On October 13th, Free Italy declared war on Germany, joining the Allied forces. 3 days later, the 4th and 5th New Zealand Divisions depart from their campaign in Egypt and set out for Italy. With the aid of the liberated Italian forces, an offensive on the Serengo River was launched. The German defenses lasted merely 9 days before the Allied forces came out victorious. On January 13th, New Zealand troops moved to Cassino in order to support the American offensive along the Gustav Line. 5 days later, Allied forces landed at Anzio, flanking the Germans. The Germans were forced to launch a counterattack on February 3rd against the forces at Anzio. After a barrage of bombing, March 15th marked the beginning of New Zealand's attack on the town of Cassino. 8 days afterwards, however, they are forced to fall back. Polish troops came to the rescue, gaining control over Cassino. From there, Allied forces began a hard push towards Rome, meeting much opposition on their way. Finally, on June 5th, Rome fell. Almost a full month later, Arezzo met the same fate. Despite the victory, however, our troops did not stop there. On August 14th, Allied troops advanced into Florence, yet another prominent Italian city. Only 18 days later, the Germans were forced to fall back to the Gothic line. September 2nd, our troops successfully pushed through their defenses, capturing Pisa. The following year, on April 1st, Allied forces began their final push into northern Italy. 27 days later, Mussolini and his mistress were captured by a group of Italian partisans. Both were executed at gunpoint, receiving what some considered to be far too quick of a death for him. As a result, the night of his execution consisted of the repeated beating, spatting on, and disrespect of the bodies of Mussolini and his mistress. The next day, the bodies were taken to Milan, Italy, and hanged from the meat hooks in the middle of a public square. The citizens of the city ridiculed, attacked, and further disrespected the deceased dictator. And this so concludes our coverage of the Allied campaign in Italy.